there's still this idea that it's fake. And it probably doesn't help that a lot of us do skate in fairly revealing costumes.
We always get that story of, oh, I remember roller derby. It was, I used to watch it back in the day, you know. It was like WWF.
It's rather time-consuming to say, well, no, actually, we're quite a legitimate sport, and we're an LLC, and we have this set of rules.
Roller derby is such a real sport where we go out, we practice, there's nothing fake about it, but we definitely have discussed it within our own league, portraying ourselves a little bit better, portraying ourselves as strong women, not out there to get the attention of just men to watch us play roller derby.
If I bump into somebody on the street and I'm wearing Sac City Rollers, or sometimes they'll recognize me and they'll say, you know, oh, you play for the Sac City Rollers, like you beat girls, you know, clothesline them, and I'm like, yeah, well, no, not actually, but kind of. Why don't you buy a ticket and come to the game, and we'll school you on what we actually do. There's 2 teams, 5 girls from each team on an oval track.
You have 4 girls who are your blockers in a pack from each team, so you have 8 girls. And then you have your jammers coming up. We embrace our curviness. There's not many stick figures in derby. If they are, we make them our jammers. And they still kind of bulk up because you're squatting so much.
I've always been like, I'm not a small girl, and I never will be. And that used to be something that would trouble me and give me a lot of grief. But yeah, I think it just doesn't trouble me anymore. And that's kind of small, but kind of big also. Like, I'm not going to be a small chick, but I'm still going to wear little tiny panties. What you going to do? What you going to do? Nothing. That's what. You're going to love it.
So these are our beautiful ruffle bums. And we actually, last season, we wore these for 2 bouts. We would wear tights under them. And girls, and I'm talking girls every size and shape, had to wear these.
I'm Sweet Cheeks from Sac City Rollers. I've been with the league since March of 2006. This is the only league I've been with. I play pivot, blocking, known to build a wall with my butt.
I'll start with the pivot, which is the front of the pack. Those are the people that have the panty on their helmets with the stripe. That's how it's designated. They're basically the leader of the pack.
You keep the speed. You monitor, you work with number 2 and number 4 to really help build walls. You communicate back to the pack what's going on because you're constantly looking behind you and making sure that that jammer does not get through.
Well, I think most girls in this sport are very in touch with their duality.
I can't be Amanda on the rink who is a patient care coordinator for cosmetic surgery. I need to be Sweet Cheeks. I'm rough and rude, and I won't let you get by me. I'm going to do everything possible to keep you from passing me.
The derby name is a very important and arduous process. Very important and arduous.
And you basically kind of have this like alter ego that I think a lot of us want to be but can't in our daily lives.
I think one of my friends actually named me Spankenstein. From Trampylvania is the entire title. Initially the whistle blows, the pack takes off, and once they hit a certain point in the track, a second whistle blows and the jammers take off.
And their role is to get through the pack for the first time, and on the second time they start to score.
And for every lap thereafter that they make it through the pack, each opposing team member is 1 point.
It's getting to that point where everyone's starting to look more uniform.
As we progressed, it's become a little bit more utility rather than fashion.
I definitely haven't seen a change in the past 3 years. When we first started, we definitely loved the glamour of being in roller derby and having our persona portrayed. And you have Spankenstein, who used to put white makeup on and put stitches across her face. I would do my makeup. But then over the years, it was not so much the theatrics of the persona, even though we continue to keep that. We definitely are focusing a lot too on our sport and getting out there. We're not as dressy and flashy, I would say, as we used to be.
But I feel like if we're more uniform looking and more professional, people respect you more.
I kind of shifted a little bit and really wanted to be recognized more for my athleticism rather than my showmanship, but I definitely don't knock that at all. Derby is, it's definitely 50-50. You can be an athlete and be a sexy, ass-kicking female at the same time. And the jammer, to make it out of the first initial lap, legally first, is the lead jammer, and she has the ability to call off the jam. After she's accrued the points that she wishes, she can call it off by placing her hand on her hip.
I think that we're just trying to be ourselves. We're not trying to say, I can be female or man and do this. We are just being ourselves out there, and that's the most important thing. We're definitely women, and we're good-looking women. My team is really hot, I have to say.
It's not like taking your kid to watch a soccer game. We've got a lot of opportunities for people to get hurt. There's been fights. There's cussing. There's a lot of tattoos. So it's, again, probably most of you roller derby girls are not going to be that, stereotype athlete-looking person.
I think if you interview just about any derby girl across the U.S., her story is the same, no matter who she is. I mean, we come from all walks of life. We've got accountants and school teachers and moms, and but it's become such an outlet and a source of confidence and, I don't know, social exploration. There's so many of us that would never have met each other had it not been for this sport. And I think the core derby girl, I think, is somebody that's has been looking for something, or I don't know, has just kind of re-found herself in the sport.